Welcome to Around the Awe. Today we're going to dive into a topic that has shaped human history for thousands of years: migration. We'll explore what is it, how it differs from immigration, the causes throughout history, and what's driving recent migrant flows to countries like the United States and Europe. And stick around, because we'll also discuss how global powers and historical events have played a role in the conditions that lead people to move. Our goal is to provide viewers with a clear understanding of this issue from an impartial perspective. Let's get started. What is migration? Migration refers to the movement of people from one place to another, within a country or across national borders, with the intention of settling temporarily or permanently. It's a broad term that includes all forms of human mobility, whether voluntary, like seeking better jobs, or forced, like fleeing conflict or persecution. How migration differs from immigration? Here's a quick distinction. Migration is the general term for moving from one place to another. Immigration is specifically about moving into a new country or region to live. If I move from country A to country B, from A's perspective, I'm an immigrant. And from B's perspective, I'm an immigrant. But overall, I'm part of the broader phenomenon called migration. Causes of migration. Throughout history. Throughout history, there have been countless reasons why people choose, or are forced, to migrate. Let's break down some of the major drivers. 1. Economic opportunities. People have always moved in search of better livelihoods, from early trade routes to mass relocations during the Industrial Revolution. Examples: labor migration for factory work in the 19th century, or agricultural expansion in newly developing regions. 2. Conflict, war, and persecution. Wars and invasions often displace entire populations. Major historical examples include World War I and II displacements, the partition of India and Pakistan, and numerous regional conflicts. 3. Environmental and climatic factors. Natural disasters like droughts or floods can force communities to relocate. The 1930s Dust Bowl in the United States is a classic example of internal migration due to environmental catastrophe. 4. Political and social upheaval. People flee to escape unstable regimes, revolutions, or social strife, seeking peace and stability elsewhere. 5. Colonization and exploration. European colonial expeditions drove massive migrations to the Americas, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. This included both voluntary settlers and enforced migration, like the tragic transatlantic slave trade. Recent causes of migrant influx to the USA and Europe. Now let's fast forward to the present day. There are several overlapping reasons for the recent surge in migration to the US and Europe. 1. Conflict and insecurity. Ongoing wars in places like Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Myanmar, Palestine, Israel, and parts of Africa lead to large populations seeking refuge. Civil wars force civilians to flee to neighboring countries or attempt long, perilous journeys to Western nations. 2. Political instability and persecution. Authoritarian regimes, human rights abuses, and targeted persecution push people to seek asylum. In Latin America, for instance, political crises and violence in Central America prompt many to move northward. 3. Economic hardship and inequality. Poverty and limited job prospects push migrants to wealthier countries with more opportunities. Economic migrants often aim for higher wages and better living conditions in the US, UK, Europe, Canada, Australia, etc. 4. Climate change and environmental degradation. More frequent extreme weather events, droughts, floods, hurricanes, destroy homes and livelihoods. Displacement also happens gradually through issues like desertification or sea level rise. 5. Globalization and communication. In our hyper-connected world, information about opportunities spreads quickly. Diaspora communities offer support networks, which can make moving to a new country more feasible. How world countries have contributed to instability. Now here's the complex part. The conditions driving migration don't exist in a vacuum. Throughout history and even today, global powers and international policies have played significant roles. 1. Historical colonialism. European colonization drew arbitrary borders, merging diverse groups under single administrations. This has often led to ethnic tensions and future conflicts. 2. Cold War and proxy conflicts. During the Cold War, the U.S. and the Soviet Union fueled wars by supporting opposing factions in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The resulting instability still impacts these regions, contributing to ongoing migration. 3. Military interventions and regime change. Foreign interventions, such as in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya, sometimes create power vacuums and prolong conflict. Societies struggle to rebuild, and many civilians end up displaced. 4. Support for dictatorial or corrupt regimes. Major powers have, at times, backed authoritarian leaders to maintain geopolitical influence. These regimes can suppress democratic movements and spark mass outflows of people fleeing repression or poverty. 5. Economic exploitation and corruption. International businesses sometimes exploit resources in unstable regions with the help of local elites. Profits don't always benefit the local population, perpetuating poverty and driving migration. 6. Arms trade and militarization. The global arms trade can escalate conflicts in already fragile states, creating a cycle of violence that displaces civilians. Unregulated weapons further fuel instability, leaving ordinary people no choice but to flee. Migration is a constant feature of our shared global story. Whether seeking jobs, fleeing war, or escaping political unrest, people move for countless reasons. In recent years, migration to the U.S. and Europe has been driven by modern conflicts, economic disparities, and environmental pressures. But remember, these factors are often intertwined with historical and ongoing actions by powerful nations, colonialism, the Cold War, and even present-day geopolitical maneuvers all play a part in shaping the world we live in today. Addressing the root causes like conflicts, corruption, environmental degradation, and inequality is essential if we ever hope to reduce the pressures that lead to large-scale migration. By understanding the complexities, we're better equipped to talk about solutions and fair policies. Thank you very much for watching Around the Awe. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the forces that shape our world. We truly appreciate your support. Together, we can keep learning and growing. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.